Good morning, everybody. Distinguished participants of the Oxford Symposium in School-Based Family Counseling, ladies and gentlemen. At the outset, I would like to extend my sincere gratitude to the organizing committee for inviting me to deliver the keynote address in such an important international event. In fact, last year I had the opportunity to attend the same program as an invited speaker to deliver lecture on corporal punishment and its impact on children's mental health. This time I'm going to talk about education of children of commercial sex worker and experience of community-based participatory approach. The children of commercial sex worker, they are one category of marginalized population in every society. Marginalized children population normally denied of the fundamental rights. They don't get the opportunity for education. They experience social discrimination, social alienation, and lead a very poor quality of life. Very few researchers take interest on this subject because it's challenging. This experience I gathered in the beginning of my career, and it was an eye-opener for me to witness the nature of challenges faced by the children of commercial sex workers in red light areas in a country like India. So I would like to share my long 5 years work experience about the same project. The Indian Constitution says that equity and equality should be ensured for every individual. However, when you look at this equity and equality issue for the marginalized population, the issue requires serious thought to see how we can ensure equity and equality. Children of marginalized categories, especially the children living on the street, children who are trafficked, children of commercial sex workers, children who live in the slum areas in a very sorry state. Regarding the status of those children, we do not have much document. So my experience of 5 years action research project will be eye-opener for some of you perhaps to see what happens and how with minimal support and care facilities we can bring a change in the life of this disadvantaged children population. So I'm going to make a brief PowerPoint presentation so that I remain more focused and I can systematically share my experience. Thank you, everybody. Dear friends, the title of my deliberation is Education for Children of Commercial Sex Workers, an Experience of Community-Based Participatory Approach. So far as my lecture is concerned, I have come out with a broad outline which include preamble, plight of the children of commercial sex workers, mental health of the children of commercial sex workers, upbringing of children by mothers, objective of the action research project, intervention strategies, learning experience, impact of support for education, impact of support facilities, positive negative case studies, views of some of the children about the program, conclusion, and then finally I recommend certain steps. As you know that commercial sex trade is not a legally accepted profession in India, as Indian law did not say anything specifically about this profession. However, one can practice this profession privately. Article 19(1)(g) of the Indian Constitution seeks to provide right to private practice any profession, and Immoral Trafficking Prevention Act deals with the issue. As per the Immoral Traffic Prevention Act, pimping, soliciting in public place are illegal. It is also illegal to confine a woman or girl child forcefully in a particular area for using them for commercial sexual exploitation. Commercial sex works have been in India for a very long time. In every city, this profession lures people from all walks of life to visit the commercial sex workers. Women and girl children from very poor families who become victims of false promise of marriage and get pregnant mostly end up in this profession since their family do not agree to take them back, owing to social stigma. In some cases, the women and children who are trafficked to some other cities for sexual abuse and or for sexual exploitation join the profession out of compulsion. Earlier, this profession was confined to particular areas known as red light areas. Over a period of time, the dynamics of this profession has changed. In addition to running this profession, especially by women who are rejected by the family members, women from lower social middle class, Even for middle class families and even school college students secretly work as commercial sex workers to earn money in order to meet their materialistic needs and sometimes to take care of financial aspects of the family. Commercial sex workers experience numerous challenges in their life related to health and occupation. And the nature of health problem they experience include gynecological problems, complications with abortion, malnutrition, lack of antenatal care. Some even experience physical abuse, forced sex, fear of losing customers, and feeling of insecurity, especially the aged commercial sex workers. The advent of HIV/AIDS caused a lot of challenges for the CSWs as most of the customers prefer to have sex without protection. Commercial sex workers who insist on protective measures often lose their customers. Commercial sex workers are mostly regarded as one of the prime transmitter of HIV/AIDS in India, like other societies. Social isolation, discrimination, and deprivation from fundamental rights are common phenomena. They experience serious challenges in life after retirement from the profession because of lack of social support. In addition to financial crisis, a larger number of them suffer from depression and hopelessness. Because of nature of the profession, the majority of the commercial sex workers become dependent on alcohol and other substances because of insistence by the customer so that they do not lose the customer. When you look at the population of commercial sex workers, the estimation varies. I'm going to share. One estimation says that there are around 3 million commercial sex workers in India, and a larger number of them are less than 18 years of age. Although it's little old data, but the basic reason for sharing this information to give you an idea that a larger number of them are under 18 years of age means they are children. UNAIDS survey 2016 reported that the number of CSWs in India to be around 657,000. So one can understand the magnitude of this population. So far as plight of the children of CSWs is concerned, they become the worst victim of social discrimination like their mothers and suffer from inferiority complex because of mother's profession, social alienation, and lead a poor quality of life. However, information about the status of the children of commercial sex workers is scanty worldwide. Very few studies reported the health status of the children of commercial sex workers and their educational background. As per the Right to Education Act 2012, 25% seats should be reserved for socially disadvantaged children. However, it is very difficult to comment whether the aspiration of this act is fulfilled in reality. The issue requires in-depth investigation of the ground reality, and corrective measures should be taken accordingly. The children from disadvantaged families who attend school get midday meals. Since the majority of the children of the commercial sex workers do not get admission in the school, they are denied from the same government facility. Most of the children born in red light area and they do not get much support from anybody else except biological mother. Regarding the education of the children of commercial sex workers, the issue of securing admission in a school is very complicated. Some of them do not have birth certificate as the mother did not try for the same from the corporation office. Also for admission in schools, father's name is prerequisite. Most of the children do not have it. Normally, no customer is willing to allow using their name for admission in the school. Some of the CSWs prefer to suppress their profession because of social stigma. Because of the said reasons, most of the children of CSWs remain out of the school. Even the children who are able to get admission in the school using the name of somebody else as father figure. In general, the children of CSWs experience lack of support facilities for studies. Some of them are unable to pay tuition fee to the schools, and some experience discrimination in the school. Lack of space for study during evening hours when the mothers remain busy in running the profession is demotivating for the children, as they may not be able to complete the homework and respond in class when the teacher asks a question, resulting in humiliation before other children in the class. Finally, these children become school dropout after a few years. Because of discontinuation of education, girl children come in the same profession while male children get engaged in some casual work. Hardly any effort was made to bring the same children into the mainstream of the society through education and meeting their basic needs. As per the UN Convention on Rights of the Child 1989, it is the responsibility of the biological parents to provide basic support to their children for their healthy growth and development. If parents fail, it is the obligation of the local government to take care of the basic needs of children in need. When you look at the mental health of children of CSWs, literature is very limited. One secondary study from the developed country reported that a number of factors adversely affect the mental health of the children of CSWs, and they include separation from parents, sexual abuse, early sexual debut, low school enrollment, witnessing the interaction between mothers and client, and social marginalization. Evidence also highlights that the male children eventually become criminals, drug abusers, and develop suicidal ideation, and or even some children commit suicide due to real life situation. Raids in the red light areas are very common, which cause psychological trauma for the children. So far as upbringing of children by their mother is concerned, it is very difficult for the mothers to pay proper attention for quality upbringing of their children, because life is very struggling in red light areas. They fail to provide immunization to the children on time, as well as they fail to go for periodic health checkup. They fail to provide education, and safety is always an issue for their children. Social support is also very poor for the children of commercial sex workers and their children, as they are totally disconnected from their families, and hardly any family members inquire about the welfare and well-being. Therefore, children of CSWs experience a range of adversities during childhood. Evidence concerning the rehabilitation of the children of commercial sex workers is scanty. Given the plight of the children of CSWs, a 5-year action research was planned to rehabilitate a group of 30 children of Rambagan Red Light area, Kolkata, India, selected on some criteria, and bring them within the mainstream of the society through community-based participatory approach. Any intervention program requires planning, keeping the real-life situation in mind. For this project staff had several brainstorming exercises, and accordingly the following steps were taken for effective implementation of the project. Identification of community leaders through reference. Effort was made to identify the community leaders of Rambagan area with the help of personnel of another non-government organization, and a series of interaction with the community leaders was conducted for establishing a rapport and for sharing the plan for the welfare of the children of CSWs. Community leaders living in the same area found it to be an interesting program for the rehabilitation of the children of commercial sex workers, and agreed to become a partner for implementation of the project and ensuring all cooperation. Sharing the rehabilitation plan with the mother of the children, it was very essential to take the mother into the confidence. Taking beneficiary mothers into confidence for success of the project was very essential. A series of meetings were held with the mothers about the program and its benefit. It took some time for some mothers to allow their children to become a part of the program, while some instantly agreed to put their children in the same project, as they wanted to see their child leading a better life. Initially, the thought was of shifting the children from the red light area to a residential institute for their safety and for providing a better environment, and all the 30 children were shifted based on mother's consent. However, within a short period, it was observed that some mothers were unable to accept the separation of their child, as he or she is the only person in their life. Some mothers went to the residential school and tried to take their child back. Considering the close emotional attachment of mothers with the child, after 2 months, children were shifted back to the Rambagan area where their mothers were living, and preferred to rehabilitate them, keeping them with their mothers. Thereafter, effort was made to identify the need of the children through focus group discussion. The needs which are identified in discussion with the children include general needs, social needs, and psychological needs. General needs includes school uniform, casual dress for daily uses, school fees, educational materials like books, notebooks, pen, pencil, school bag, school shoes, and so on. Social needs include social recognition, interaction with other children through games and sports and cultural activities. Psychological needs include mental health support facilities like individual and group counseling based on psychological assessment, periodic assessment of mental health in terms of resilience, motivating students in studies and sense of well-being, and so on. Thereafter, effort was made to identify the local school in the area so that we can admit the children who are out of school or who became school dropout. For that, series of visits were made in all the schools. Some school authorities agreed to admit the children while some did not agree because of social stigma. Thereafter, psychological assessment was carried out for all the 30 children, and accordingly need-based inputs were planned to provide them periodically. There was a need to ensure support from the leader of larger community, that is public representative. For that, we made an attempt to reach out to the member of Legislative Assembly of the same locality and sensitize him about the program. And we said that we would like to have you in different cultural programs for prize distribution among the children. Socialization process was another very important aspect to bring change in the behavior of these children. The effort towards socialization process were made to familiarize children with social expectation and social manners so that they can easily mingle with the children of the larger society. Financial support in the form of sponsorship was ensured to all the 30 children for meeting their basic expenses. Extracurricular activities, games and sports were also arranged so that children feel psychologically happy and a sense of belongingness develop among them. The anti-rehabilitation strategies were documented from time to time and monitored very closely by the project staff, and community volunteers also very active in this regard. The intervention program implemented through participatory approach was found to be very effective in rehabilitating the children of commercial sex workers through education and socialization process. All the children except 4 were pursuing their studies successfully at the end of the project period. Few opted for vocational training and were performing extremely well. 4 project staff played the role of social legal guardians for admitting some of the children in neighboring schools. Findings disclosed that need-based support services in terms of social, psychological and general needs were found to be very beneficial to bring positive changes in the behavior, attitude and perception of life in most of the children of commercial sex workers and their mothers. Educational guidance provided by the community youth volunteers helped the children to clear their doubts related to academic issues. Empowerment of local youth club members and leaders to implement the project with the guidance of the project staff was found to be a suitable approach to implement such a project in a red light area, as they accepted it as their own project. The local youth club premise provided by the community leaders for the children during evening hours was an opportunity for the children to study in the club premise while their mothers remained busy in their profession. The community volunteers identified through the community leaders played a very important role in monitoring the movement of the children and providing them guidance for study during evening hours in the club premise. They developed a timetable in discussion with the children for the whole day and insisted all the children to follow the same. Cooperation and support from community volunteers and public representatives played a very important role in the socialization process and helped the children to overcome inferiority complex and regain self-confidence. Role of mothers in the project was very encouraging. However, initially mothers were apprehensive to putting their children in the intervention program. Several rounds of discussion with the mothers by the project staff with the help of community leaders would give them confidence that it would be good for the future of the children if they join the project. Looking at their disciplined lifestyle after joining the project and their interest in studies gave confidence to mothers, and they were found to be relieved from anxiety and were relaxed. Thereafter, CSWs were very cooperative with the project staff and changed their own lifestyle also for the welfare of the children. That is, getting up early in the morning to prepare the children for school, inquiring about the education after return of their child from the school, insisting children to go to the youth club premise during the evening hours for study, and restricting the timings of their own profession so that children do not feel embarrassed. The mother's caring gesture towards children was very inspiring and motivating for the children in their studies, and a sense of happiness on the face of the children was clearly visible. Appropriate initiative for addressing the 3 broad needs of the children as emerged from the discussion with the children and mothers was found to be facilitating in helping children to get admitted in the local school, continue their education, and join in different group activities like games and sports and outings and cultural programs. For example, as far as general needs are concerned, children were given school uniform, school shoe, books and other study materials, tuition fee for the school, and informal dress for daily uses. These support facilities were highly motivating for the children. Impact of support facilities, especially the impact of socialization process. Socialization process initiated by the project staff during the implementation of the project helped the children to follow social behavior in school and become well adjusted with peers, while cultural as well as games and sports had given them a sense of social acceptance since the children from the larger society participated in the same group activities. Psychological support services like individual and group counseling had positive impact on the mental health of the children as well as on their mothers. Children could discuss their general issues in a group counseling session, which helped them to clarify their queries, while individual counseling helped to discuss personal issues like problems faced with the mother's clients. They include trying to touch their private parts, asking them for bringing alcohol from outside, physical health problems of mothers, indirect pressure for mothers to entertain the client since she was not able to serve the clients as per their desires, and so on. After personal discussion with the project staff, who also acted as a counselor, the child felt relieved and fresh. At the same time, group counseling enhanced a sense of belongingness and unity among the children. Group counseling with mothers could bring happiness among them since they understood the benefit of the intervention program for a better future of the children, and in turn mothers restricted their business hours so that the children do not feel embarrassed. Mothers' cooperation facilitated the overall rehabilitation process of the children. I would like to share few case studies, including both positive and negative case studies, to give you the feel that how this project helped some of the children and it failed to bring some children in mainstream of the society because of real life situation. One positive case study is about Reena, aged 18, female, an early child, was born and brought up in the red light area known as Rambagan red light area in Kolkata. She was well mannered and a good looking girl. She showed interest in studies and was punctual in attending the school. Every day, she used to come to the youth club premise for studying during evening hours and clarified her queries with the teacher. She passed the first board examination, that is secondary examination, with first class, and subsequently higher secondary examination with good results. After passing grade 12 examination, she got admitted in the nursing course. Her ambition was to become a nurse so that she can serve many people. She also stated that after getting a job, she will ask her mother to quit the profession and will shift to another residential area for better living. Another positive case study is about a child who is aged 18, was living with his mother in the Rambagan red light area. He was an obedient boy and was interested in studies. He did not indulge in any undesirable activities under peer influence. After passing the higher secondary examination, he took admission in a drama course in Rabindranath Bharati University. After seeing his performance, a professor of the same course adopted him and provided him special guidance. After the completion of his drama course, he was writing scripts and directing different drama programs and has become self-reliant. Of late, he got married to Reena and had a child, and both of them are living happily. Reena has taken her mother with her. A negative case study, which was very painful for all of us. The case study is about Rani, a 15-year-old girl, elder daughter out of 3 siblings, was living with her mother and grandmother in Rambagan red light area, Kolkata. Both mother and grandmother were in the same profession. A 5-member family was dependent upon the income of Rani's mother. The mother became sick and was unable to entertain any clients, resulting in severe financial crisis as there was no support from any other source. Looking at the vulnerability of the child, Rani was inducted in the project, admitted to a local school. However, she was not regular in attending the school and the evening study center. When project volunteers visited her house to know the reasons for her absence, it was learned that she has been shifted to Mumbai for a job. However, after 6 months, she returned back to Rambagan from Mumbai with HIV positive. So she was shifted to Mumbai for commercial sex trade, and her mother got a handsome amount of money from a middleman. And because of real life situation, in order to meet health related expenses and also to meet the family financial crisis, they sacrificed their child and forced the child to take up the profession, but end result was not good. We also captured the views of some of the children who are doing well in the project. But the four children who were not performing well preferred to remain indifferent, not to make any comment about the project. The children who attended the program, according to some of them, sponsorship helped us to get admitted in the local school and continue education, according to a male child. A female child stated that now we are safe since we go to the study center during evening hours. According to a male child, support from community volunteers was very helpful for study. A female child stated that counselors were very supportive. Outings was very enjoyable, refreshing for all of us, as stated by a male child. Finally, I conclude that the intervention project aimed at rehabilitating the children of commercial sex workers through community-based participatory approach yielded positive result, as 26 out of 30 were continuing education successfully, while 4 discontinued owing to various real-life challenges. For success of the project, continuous participation by project staff, monitoring of progress of studies by the children, community empowerment and active involvement in the project, as well as mother support played very important role. Finally, it has been observed that minimal support and encouragement to disadvantaged children, social recognition, community participation can bring miracle change in the life of these children and help them to overcome inferiority complex, get confidence in moving ahead in life despite all adversities. From our long research experience, we recommend a number of steps. There is a need to carry out more research on different categories of disadvantaged children, since their life challenges are totally different, especially the children of commercial sex worker. People hardly visit those areas for research because of some real life challenges to reach out to them. More NGOs should come forward and take interest to run welfare programs for extending support to the children of commercial sex worker. Larger society should come forward and adopt the children of CSWs with a condition to allow all the children to remain connected to their mothers. In the last National Youth Policy 2020, Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports, Government of India, it is recommended to include the overall welfare issue of the children of CSWs in particular and disadvantaged children in general. Disadvantaged children include the children living on the street, children who are trafficked, children who are living in the slum area, children who are working as a child laborer. Effort should also be made to give skill-based training to these children, especially those who are not interested in formal education. Skill-based education would help them to get immediate employment. Safety of the children of CSWs should be ensured through community support system with the help of community volunteers and leaders. Effort should be made to arrange alternate profession for mothers, as a good number of them are unable to run the profession after a certain age or because of various health problems. With these few words, I end here with a note that and an appeal to all distinguished participants. Let us join hands together to ensure quality, equity and equality to every child, irrespective of their background, so that we can bring some change in their life and give them a hope for better future. Thank you everybody for your kind attention.